Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we did want to have a look at Tuxedo OS because, a couple days ago we did talk about the Tuxedo OS rebasing from Ubuntu into Debian and a number of other things related to that change. In fact, that's what this article here was about from July 7th. And they talked about it. You can reference my whole video for all of the different things. Ultimately, some of the best things that they're doing as they're making this change is they're implementing snapshots via ButterOS and ButterFS, and Snapper to allow people to make some solid changes as well, solid restore points, I should say. And what I did want to look at here is what really is the difference between Tuxedo OS and Ubuntu. This was an article from 4 years ago. Where a lot of people were just saying, who would use this or why isn't it popular? One Reddit post suggested, and someone said, well, it's just Ubuntu with a different skin. And no, it's more than that. As they talked about in this, they made a lot of changes to the system and putting in the Tuxedo Control Center. And then they did this TomT, and I've not found this if it's currently on the newer systems or it's something that's, not menu accessible, just something that kind of runs in the background. They also are using Pipewire. They switched to it before Ubuntu did. Of course, Ubuntu is now Pipewire. And then Ubuntu made some changes in Grub, which they reverted back. So there were a number of different features in there. And then, of course, they talked about Debs versus Snaps in there. And this was 4 years ago. So it makes sense that they would be moving to the new package base. Now, a lot of this information here is still related to Tuxedo, and when I just downloaded it the other day, just before recording that video, I had downloaded this, and so I wanted to go ahead and see how this is, how this looks, what it looks like in the current state. And this is based on the Ubuntu still, so if you have a look at where the packages are coming from, it is Ubuntu packages, although they are actually hosting those Ubuntu servers themselves. So if you go, and I just went and installed something from the terminal, and you can see that it's pulling Ubuntu, but it's they're hosting the Ubuntu packages themselves. As far as the system here, it is Plasma OS, and it's a fairly standard Plasma OS with only a couple of minor changes that I'd point out. Mostly their Tuxedo control panel. Ultimately, Tuxedo OS is a good OS, but it's ultimately designed for their Tuxedo computers because they'll have some special hardware that they have software written specifically for. So whether or not this isn't a bad distro. If you want to use a Debian-based distribution that's steering away from the AI and the snaps and you like Plasma, this might be a great distribution for you no matter what your computer is. I mean, I'm doing this not on a Tuxedo computer, and it's running just fine on my old system here. In fact, let me just go ahead and pull up the console here. Let me do a neofetch and just kind of show you what we're looking at here. So you can see here we're running the B350 Gaming Plus board. We have the AMD Ryzen 5 1600. I know I need a new computer. I mean, hey, this thing was state of the art when I built it almost a decade ago, but we have a laughably bad graphics card, and it's running just fine. It's using only a little over 2 gigabytes, just under 3 gigabytes, we should say, of memory. But I'm also running this on a dual screen, and I am also recording in 1080p at the same time. So it's not exactly stressing my system. It runs very smooth. It runs well, and I've been doing a little bit of research and poking and prodding at it as I was preparing for the video. So there are a couple things. This is the Tuxedo Control Center is really the thing that is unique about this here. And ultimately, this is telling us our CPU power and our frequency here. We do have some nice profiles in here, so you can actually adjust the power profiles on the fly. That's one of the things you can do down here. Here's your profiles, and you can turn on. Here's your default. Here's your cool and breezy. Keeps it low, and the quiet. The processor speeds low, keeps the fans low. There's extreme power saver. This is the default. You can create a new profile and be like, hey, max this bad boy out. And then you can actually easily drop between those. You can turn on, you can block the power saver modes. So there's some nice things in power saving features that they have built in over here. I did not build this in with encryption, although that is the default. I just opted not to since this is just a test system, but it is on real hardware. This isn't a virtual machine. We're on real hardware. But you could change your encryption password there. Here's a shutdown timer. Keyboard backlights if you are using such a thing, and I don't have a webcam on this thing either, so it will probably fail to find, but there is some of the things down there. This deals with their Aquarius water cooling systems, which obviously I don't have. So this control panel's, I mean, the power profiles are very good. Other than that, not something most other people are going to see. Here is just a notification here. There are some updates in Discover, and this is just, it's giving us all of whatever the updates are. I'm not going to install the updates here live. Well, I probably could. Let's just go ahead and try it. Let's do it. Go ahead and enter your authentication here, and I'm used to doing these distro reviews in the van without good internet, but I actually have good internet now. I don't know how long this is going to take to actually download. It's got downloading a total of 300 megabytes as it's working in the background there. As far as the rest of the operating system itself, it feels like a complete operating system. You could download this and feel like, hey, it has all the tools. Obviously, we have a basic text editor. We have a couple of games, KDE-based games. Our graphics, here's view. I've never seen this application before. You can view Photoshop and PDF files. Here's ImageMagick, Ocular, Scanlight for scanning. Here's some help information. We have Firefox, which even though this is an Ubuntu base, this is a Deb package, and they've done the same if you want Chromium. That is also a Deb package. This was, in fact, one of the cited things we talked about why they're steering away from Ubuntu is they're frustrated with trying to do workarounds for all the things Ubuntu is trying to make snap. And so this might be the first domino to fall of many, many other distributions who just give up on Ubuntu because they have a weird direction of forcing proprietary snaps, and at the same time they're also pushing some AI features that we don't have all the details to. We have a torrent BitTorrent client. We have Thunderbird on there. We have Elsa. You can use your webcam to take pictures. I did not actually try this out. I should give that a try. I installed Simple Screen Recorder for the purpose of recording this. This is the other thing is it does give us Wayland by default with the option to install X instead. I went ahead and installed with X because I knew I was going to record this and I really wanted Simple Screen Recorder without having to work around. There's other screen recorders that can work, but they are royally painful to use. So X it is whenever I have the opportunity. VLC is pre-installed, the full LibreOffice suite. And then we do have a number of other tools. We have Gparted, HTOP information, a USB image writer. We have obviously a terminal in there. We have a couple system monitors. We have HTOP. We have another system monitor here as well. And then here is the WebFi creator. So preparing USB. Is that another? Oh, that's Teletype? Oh, okay, it's like Putty. Only it's Zutty. Got it. All right. And then under Tuxedo, we have the control center. We have the USB creator. And then under utilities, hey, we even have an emoji selector. We have Arc. We have a number of different, just other basics. Oh, look at that. Desktop, the Nextel desktop client is pre-installed. That's neat. I'm not going to sign in here, save myself a little bit of video editing, but I'm sure that works great. So we do have a full operating system, including some modern cloud integrations. We had notifications about downloads. It looks like it is still in the process of downloading. I'm not sure why it's running so slowly as far as the downloads are concerned. Let me go ahead and see how that works if I just do it manually in the terminal. Let me just think. Let's do a sudo apt update, enter my password, and then there you go. And Let's do an upgrade. Let's just see if this is faster over here than it is doing over there. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. Maybe it was just stuck trying to download Thunderbird. Who knows? Anyway, there is your Tuxedo OS. It is a great operating system. It has a lot of nice tools in it. The Nextcloud being added was a nice surprise. It's KDE done well. Everything's based on Qt, meaning that it's not as big of a bloated mess as if you're trying to combine all the Qt and the GTK stuff together. And it works really well. Now, this one still is running ext4, and it's still running. Let me pull up. Do we have disks installed or not? Looks like. What did I see in there? Where was that at? Gparted. That's the one I saw. Like, I saw one of these. Which one was it? All right. Oh, I got my password wrong. So this is running ext4. It did actually give me the option to choose ext4, which was the default with encryption as a default with Lux. I opted to do ext4 without it. Btrfs was an option, but I do not think they have Snapper set up yet. And there was one more in there, and I forget what the other one was. So this actually is a nice operating system. Definitely, absolutely worth doing if you have a Tuxedo computer. But even still, if you're getting frustrated with the direction that Ubuntu is taking and you want something that's not just pure Debian, these guys might have an operating system that may fit that niche. So you might definitely consider checking it out. You can, of course, just go right on over to their website, and at the very bottom of it is a bunch of links, and one of those is the Tuxedo OS, which is the page I'm on right now. And then this will give you the options, basically tell you about it, give you the options to download it. And I went ahead and downloaded it, and there was no problem that I had. Here they talk a lot about the types of packages. They talk about the web app containers and some of the things. Like, these are all just various web app containers that you can already use. These guys do take security. One of the things, the reasons they went with the Debian based is so they could manage security a little bit faster than Ubuntu, which they criticized Ubuntu at times for not being quite as secure. And they will, if you buy a Tuxedo computer, they will actually help you with other distributions as well, although not quite as thoroughly as they might if you're doing Tuxedo OS. This is assembled in Germany. It follows the Germany data privacy, which overall is pretty good. And so ultimately, I think this is a good Linux distribution for people looking for a simple Plasma build out with good security that's not based on Ubuntu and all the things Ubuntu is doing. So let me know your thoughts about all those in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.